Hello, I am Anawultos, and welcome to what I believe is my third question and answer segment. So let's get right into the news. Alright, so all the questions today are by apparently the same person, since of course it's a small channel, so we're not going to get a lot of questions, folks. The person asking the questions is a recent subscriber of mine. Well, it really depends on how you define recent. Let me make sure I try to get this right. The name, Mario Camillo, maybe? Or Mario Camillo? Mario Camillo? Whichever way you prefer. But let's make sure. Let's see if we can get the oldest question first. Alright. How old are you? Alright, so how old am I? Now that's something that's actually very particular because, believe it or not, I have actually attempted to make that a bit ambiguous, or to be more exact, to give a lot of false positives on a lot of different things in regards to my age, specifically in order to foster my privacy. But I decided, why not drop some of the secrecy, since it's already pretty obvious, relatively obvious, how old I am. So I'm going to say I'm in my 20s, okay? I'm in my 20s, and that's all I'm going to say for now. Maybe 1,000 subscribers, you'll get a bit more info on that. I don't know. But that's all I'm saying for now regarding my age. Okay, how long have you been on YouTube? Now, let me actually check on this, because I've got YouTube open right now, so what I can do here is I can go to my Creator Studio, and let's see, Video Manager. Nobody's seeing this, but I'm just telling you exactly what I'm doing. And in the view order, I'm going to see, oh, there's only there's no oldest, which I actually find is quite annoying. So let me go 7 pages down because I've got a lot of videos that I've published. Videos, by the way, 761 videos I have published. Well, no, not 761 I have uploaded. I think there's a couple that I haven't published, and that's because they were maybe sound tests and such things. That's usually the reason why I wouldn't publish something. But let me just get to my oldest video here. Ooh, periodization of history. Wow, that's an oldie but a goodie. What should a science victory be? Well, we're already going back into the early Free Civ days. My old We Are Number 1 parody videos. Civilization Free Season 2. The Big Question series. The ever controversial Are Jews Black question. Where I critiqued a video from a group that I didn't know at the time, but now I know they're called the Hebrew Israelites. They are individuals that claim that sub-Saharan Africans are actually the true descendants of the ancient Israelites. And I beg to differ, so I made a video that, or a series of videos that point for point really argued against their points. And I wasn't trying to be mean or anything, I just thought that their point was not entirely accurate. Alright, so I finally scrolled down to my earliest video, and it's Civ 3 S1E1, which means Season 1, Episode 1, a gentle, relaxing game. And it's got an HD tag next to it, so just so you know, surprisingly, it's actually in high definition. I've been high definition from the very start. December 7th, 2014 at 1:54 a.m. That's when that video came out. And that is the first video I've published on YouTube. Now, just to make it clear, I have been using YouTube as a platform to view videos for some time before that. So But when it comes to asking when did you really start YouTube, that's the answer I give. December 7th, 2014. I forget, that may have been an early same day recording, but if you're with me on the page I'm looking at, if you're looking at my oldest videos, after that, on the 10th, came out a Fraps test, where I tested the Fraps recording software, and after that, I made a Romai Bellum S1E1, Season 1, Episode 1, only episode in the entire season. That was a discontinued series, just like Season 1 of Sifri. There's a lot of discontinued series if you've watched my channel for a long time. And immediately after that, there's a series of 5 videos that I like to call the Christmas Special, okay? The first consecutive videos from a series that I did. So we've got Blood and Steel, Season 1, Episode 1, Episode 2, 3, 4, and 5. And it's called the Christmas Special because I was talking to some people on Skype on Christmas Eve, and he said, oh, I've got a YouTube channel. I'm making videos. And this guy, I think his YouTube channel was something around, I think it was called Smoking Santa. And I said, oh yeah, I've got a YouTube channel too. I make videos too. And at this point, I had uploaded maybe a total of 1 hour of content over 3 videos. And I said, I'm going to be putting out some videos this Christmas. And he said, oh, really? Well, it's Christmas Eve, and you haven't even recorded yet. So I went that evening, and I recorded 5 episodes straight of Mountain Blade Warband, Blood and Steel, and I processed all those videos, I think, within a 24-hour period, and brought all 5 of them out, which, looking back at it now, sounds pretty incredible considering the immense size of the raw recordings that Fraps produces, that I was able to put 5 videos out with an average length of 20 minutes. Well, maybe above 20 on average. I'd really have to add them up and divide to find out the average, since that's the actual calculations you do for the average. But yeah, I've come a long way from there, and it is always good to reminisce. Alright, so next question. What was your original inspiration for making this channel? Alright, the original inspiration for making the channel is I wanted money, okay? I was thinking about ways to make money, and I thought, yeah, look at these people that are very successful on YouTube. They make a lot of money. Maybe I can get a piece of that action. And look at me 4 years later, and maybe I've earned a total of maybe $20-something over those 4 years due to ad revenue. But since February, I've been demonetized categorically because I have less than 1,000 subscribers. And that really hurt because I was making progress. I was getting up penny by penny per month, just going up. It was a very slow progress, but it was steady, and I was hoping to make some progress, and no progress was made. But another thing I'd like to mention, that I don't know when I first started doing this, but at some point early on, I got a Patreon, and it's still always linked in the description of all my videos, and I'm just looking through right now to see at what point I set that up. Well, that's another matter. But I have a Patreon. Nobody's ever donated, and you know what? I don't mind. If you don't want to donate, that's fine. I just want to get monetized one way or another. But a bit of salt on that. Spread the word is maybe a better thing to say rather than donate. You don't have to spend money to tell people, if you have a channel you like, to tell people to watch it. I think that's maybe a better message to send. But as for the actual ethos of the channel, of course, being inspired by other people out on YouTube. For example, let's say the Yogscast. They're a big inspiration. Reformist TM, also an inspiration somewhat. That's why I really got into making Mountain Blade videos. It's because I used to watch a lot of Reformist. And of course, Minecraft is because I used to watch a lot of Yogscast. I don't play either of those games a lot now for YouTube, simply because both of them are a bit hard for me to record, simply due to the amount of space they take up on my hard drive when I do record. But it's not as if I can't, and in fact I would record it. Maybe some Minecraft multiplayer. I've got I think 5 seasons of Minecraft multiplayer I've done with a number of people over the years. But as for the actual art style, now the name Anawiltus, I came up with it a while before I started the channel, and it essentially means the Ana is Greek for something, in this context, something being done again. And Wult is a Latin word which means to will, or to be more exact, Ana Wultus is one who wills again, or one who perseveres. And of course, I used a U instead of a V with the Ana Wultus in 2 letters because I speak English and German and Italian, and all those languages use the letter U, so it doesn't make sense for me to go full V's when I'm doing a Greek Latin pidgin word that is then modernized to some extent with lowercase. So it's definitely not a classical word, because in classical, I would not accept it as being classical if it were not uncial. That is all majuscule, all uppercase. I hate it when I read a work of ancient literature that is originally written in uncial, and the way they've transcribed it has lowercase in it, especially if it's Greek, because Greek lowercase just doesn't make sense to me, and that just... Okay, maybe it's not time to go on a rant about linguistics here, but I just hate Greek lowercase. I don't like it that they use it for math, but I know why. It's because they ran out of letters of the alphabet, so we decided to bring a different alphabet. So, fair enough. Maybe I shouldn't get on my soapbox about that. Now, as for the actual icon I commonly use, there's one which looks like a set of eyes inside of a shark's jaw, and that symbol is representative of me. I made that one while I was still in school, just as a drawing, but instead of teeth, it originally had eyelashes coming out. And I think I probably still have a drawing somewhere in some big pile of drawings. And the original drawing is, of course, a bit more detailed than the one I made in MS Paint, since I can draw a lot better by hand than in MS Paint. But the principle is similar. Now, as for what it means, I'm not going to tell you, because that's not really something I'd like to disclose at the moment. Now, on the other hand, the other symbol that I commonly use, which is the bust of Julius Caesar, the Gaius Julius Caesar, who's, of course, wearing a Geordie LaForge visor and a trilby, commonly called fedora by some people, as well as a gold chain necklace. That's coming out of a few different concepts. The concept of being bling, kind of gangsta, not necessarily in the criminal sense of it, but rather in a sense of wealth, is represented by the golden chain as a symbol of not necessarily just wealth, but also prosperity. And also the Geordie LaForge visor. I watch a lot of science fiction, so that's why that came into it. I was originally thinking of also adding a beard, but that idea kind of fell through when it was a bit difficult for me to find the right beard to use to Photoshop in there. Well, I wasn't using Photoshop, I was using GIMP to do it. And of course the trilby, it's a pretty memey thing. It comes, of course, from meme culture. A lot of milady, but also the euphoria aspect of it. But I'm not an atheist, so maybe that may be a bit misleading to some people. But there we go. So, as for the motto that I have on my channel, let me just switch over to on my screen. You're not seeing this, but the Pietas Veritas et Vita Aeterna is, of course, Latin, but it's been transcribed to an English grammatical format with majuscule and minuscule and the English punctuation. So it's, of course, piety, truth, and eternal life. Now, you may ask, what does that have to do with anything, really? And it really is a religious allusion to the fact that I, of course, am quite a religious person myself. So, to be exact, what it is a paraphrase, or not an exact paraphrase, but an inexact paraphrase of Jesus saying that he is the way, the truth, and the life. Now, I'm not saying that I'm the way, the truth, and the life. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just alluding to that. So it's a bit of a Christian dog whistle, if you think about it. Although maybe that's saying that I'm dog whistling when I'm openly Christian doesn't really make sense. Okay. It's just a little Easter egg in there. But it's my motto, because I always like looking at how different royal houses and different countries and all those things have some sort of Latin motto, and I decided why not get one of my own, and that's the one I got. So there you go. I also have a coat of arms, but that's entirely different, and that's not one I made. That's something for another time. Alright. Do you plan on staying in YouTube forever? If not, for how much longer? Okay, generally speaking, I plan to continue uploading videos because I think it's a great way to express what I have to say. Because I do have things to say, and I do enjoy sharing these things with others, even if, for the most part, very few people listen. That's fine. At least I have some connection with other people, and it also gives me the ability to reach out to a wider audience of people who can maybe be a moderating influence on some of my opinions. Because if I say something that's incorrect, I want to know what the correct answer is. I don't want to go around in my life thinking that something's right and something's true when it in fact is wrong and is a falsehood. Nobody wants to do that. So it's always good to always be open for correction. And that's something I've always strived to be. So always be open for correction. Now, of course, when somebody criticizes something I say and I disagree, I will, of course, respond to that by putting forward my points as to defending my position. Because, of course, there are some positions that I do think are very valid that I have. And, of course, I will defend those positions in such a scenario. Alright, but as for staying on YouTube, as long as I want to, really. That's really what happens. I try to stay on it for a while. I've had a few hiatuses, and that usually is because maybe it gets really busy for me that time of year. I have a lot of work to do, so then I can't really spend as much time producing and editing videos as I'd like. So the content dries up for maybe a few months at a time. That has happened a few times before, and if it happens some other point, trust me, I haven't abandoned the channel. That's not what I've done. But I also am always looking for ways to expand or to change or to make things better if there's a problem, to make some sort of improvement. Unfortunately, there are some things that I am limited by due to my lack of skill or lack of budget, but that's a different issue. So generally speaking, to give the answer straight, I do plan on staying on YouTube for some time longer. No specific time, an indefinite period. Forever, that's not possible, so that's obviously a no on that one, but an indefinite period in the future. Okay, next question. Are you going to do anything when you reach 100 subs? That's an interesting question, because at the time I'm recording this, let me just double check, I'm currently at 99. So if I were to do something for 100 subs, I don't know what it would be, since I don't really have anything, but I do have a script for a video in the works, so that may be something that will come out soon. Maybe people will like it. It's something different from what I usually do, but hopefully it will be well received. And that's all I'm saying so far. Don't want to bring any leaks to that are too big for the dike, eh? Alright. Have you found out if Dixon survived? I hope he did. If he didn't, then please continue playing ISO Trident regardless. Well, thank you. I don't know if you can find someone else to 1v1, or if you'd have to play with random people, but it's my favorite playthrough, AK Far. I haven't seen many because I haven't been subscribed for long. Alright, okay. AK, I'm not quite familiar with that short form, but I understand the gist of it. And of course, immediately, the Real Right Media, aka Dixon, responded, I have not died yet, and then there was a response with hooray. But yes, I did find out Dixon survived, and I found out before that comment was made. And in fact, today as I was recording, Dixon did have some minor communication with me. However, it was just text over Discord, just a couple lines. So I know Dixon's alright, but I wasn't really able to make anything happen today, but I will leak this information about Dixon. He's been playing Team Fortress 2 all day, and there you go. That's where he's been. I actually did record a second, I repeat, a second podcast episode with him, but it has not come out yet, even though it's been recorded, I think, 2 weeks ago at this point. So I don't know where it's happened. Dixon, if you're watching this and there is a problem with it, please contact me. I have my own backup recording of it. I can send it to you, and you can publish it, or if you want to, I can publish it instead. Either way, it exists. So if you're worried that it's lost, I've got my own backup version of it, because I did, of course, as a matter of policy, decide to do a backup recording. Even though it's Dixon's show, I decided why not. So if there's a problem, Dixon, I'll send you the recording. And you can use it to finish making the video. But anyway, thank you all for listening. If you had any other questions, you'll have to save them for the next, I repeat, the next question and answer segment, which is going to be at some point in the future. So what I suggest is, as questions pile up, maybe write a text document with the questions in them or something, so that when the next one comes around, you can just dump it in the comment section. I'll say, whoa, 100 questions, I'll actually have to make a two-parter. Wow. But yeah, so this time when it comes to the question and answer segment. It's a lot different from the last couple times, and in fact, I think it's actually a lot shorter, because the last couple times I've had them, people actually asked me deep questions about some opinions about this, that, and the other thing, and you know what? I made some responses, and there you go. But this time, it's only been 25 minutes so far, so that's a lot shorter, but you know what? Makes it faster to edit and to upload. So thank you all for watching, and I'll be seeing you all next time. I will toss over and out.